Today on the Trent Out Loud podcast. Last Friday, before the weekend hit, reports came out that Donald Trump moved Barack Obama's portrait from the White House and replaced it with his own. Mr. Trump, I have a better idea, and I have a portrait that would look amazing in the White House. We want Trent Out Loud in the White House, Mr. Trump. What up? Trump, you have 48 hours to respond or the Out Louders will start protesting. We want TOL. We want TOL. It's a nice portrait. It's black and white. It's perfect. And the results are in. Last week, Thursday, Netflix debuted their version of Pop the Balloon or Find Love, and it was horrible. It's getting trashed online. Netflix, call me. I'll help y'all. I got ideas. Pop the Balloon or Find Love, Jamaica edition. Wagwan. Boom! Warner Brothers Studio has come out and announced that they are remaking Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner's hit movie, The Bodyguard. And of course, they're going to look for people to re-sing the iconic song that came from that movie, I Will Always Love You. And, I'm joking. It's Monday, man. There'll be no singing from me. What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, y'all. Depending on what time zone you're in, it's Wednesday night or Monday morning. But guess what? It's still the start of the weekend. We are at the furthest point away from the weekend. That sucks. But I have a great show to help you get you through your day or night. All right, I have three lead stories. We're going to kick it off by talking about Donald Trump backing down from China for the first time during this trade battle. Kanye West suggests that he and Beyoncé were intimate during a studio session, and the judge in Wendy Williams' case has a recent outburst in court that can get her kicked off of the case. In quick news, we're going to talk Pop the Balloon live on Netflix, Donald Trump, Vybz Kartel, Keyshia Cole, Diddy, Kendrick Lamar, Anthony Edwards, Bernie Sanders, and Whitney Houston. As always, we're going to close out the show with comments of the day, social discussion of the day, question of the day, and a little bit of sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, or your devices up. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. Our first lead story. China isn't scared of American tariffs. All right, a lot has gone on over the weekend over the China and US tariff battles. And I think things went down over the weekend purposely to not make the news. So I wanted to make sure that we started off with this today first thing. All right, sit back. I got a lot to share with you. Okay, so I'm about to play this video explaining from the finance minister in China, one of the finance ministers, and he's going to explain why China is not going to back down and why he thinks the US is going to lose this battle. Before I do, China strikes back at Trump with 125% tariff on US goods as trade battle intensifies. China has fired back at the US in an ongoing trade battle, rising additional tariffs on American goods from 84% to a steep 125%. The move comes after the US President Donald Trump imposed a 145% tariff on some Chinese goods, further straining trade ties between the world's two largest economies. If the US insists on continuing to infringe upon Chinese interests in a substantive way, China will take countermeasures and fight till the end, China's finance minister said on Saturday. If the US continues to impose additional tariffs on China good exports to the US, China will ignore it, they also added. Okay, that's one thing. Now, you would expect Mr. Trump, Mr. Donald Trump, President Trump, to retaliate because that's what's been going on. Remember, it started, below 100 and now it's ballooned to 145 to 125. Over the weekend, Donald Trump didn't retaliate. He actually backed down and he has taken off some tariffs. Check this out. Smartphones and computers are now exempt from Trump's list of tariffs. Listen to this video.
We might as well spend all weekend talking about this because they're dropping this information on a Saturday so you don't talk about it. On Friday, China said, that's it, we're done. We're increasing our tariffs to 125%. We're not going to increase it anymore because this is nonsense. Doesn't make any sense. On Saturday, Trump drops the tariff on Chinese electronics products because you cannot pay $2,300 for an iPhone. Apple ain't paying that tariff.
Okay, so we blinked first in this tariff showdown. First off, Trump is not supposed to blink, and he did. Okay, but really what's going on here? Let's talk about these MacBook and smartphones. Here is the reality. The world right now needs MacBooks and smartphones that China manufactures. They run the world. America is headed for tough times, and of course, rich people will continue to be just fine. Trump is doing a wonderful job right now at remaking the global economy to secure the future of those Americans who have means. The rest of America, get your umbrellas out. No country is lining up for American professional services anymore. They are lining up for Chinese-made cheap products because products will always be needed. The real shame is that our government is not telling us the truth. Okay, now listen to what the finance minister of China said. This to me is the scariest thing. Take a listen.
China is fully prepared to fight to the very end because the world is big enough that the United States is not the totality of the market in the world. So if the United States wants to go in that direction of completely shutting itself out of the China market, be my guest.
Yeah, and China will lose the US market, which, as I've said, is 15%.
We don't care. We don't care. China has been here for 5,000 years. Most of the time, there was no United States, and we survived. We will deal with the situation without the United States.
All right, so let's go over a few things. Trump has said that there are 60 to 75 countries lining up ready to make a deal. However, we do not have a deal yet. There is no country that has signed an official deal. China is coming out and saying they will not back down at all under any circumstances. And they said they will just go around to the rest of the world to make up for the 15% of production that the US has taken up. And that is true. We have a global economy. We have a global world, and they could make that up quite easily. They're not going to back down. Canada, as you know, has put their own restrictions on the US. And more importantly, Mr. Trump, President Trump, has backed down from China. He has taken his tariffs off of smartphones and computers. Now, he's doing that, as you guys know, he's always very friendly with the billionaires. So Tim Cook, Mac is the biggest company in the US. What does this mean for Donald Trump? If he's backing down from China, what will the rest of the countries do? He has done this without having a deal in place. And you guys know that everybody is going to start changing their negotiation policies if they see Donald Trump backing down. That's what happens in these things. And if Trump backing down from China and then he backs down from other things, then we did all of this for nothing. I have been on record not fully supporting Donald Trump and his tariffs, but understanding what he was trying to do. And I said that in this, when you're doing these kind of negotiations, the sacrifices you make are key. You need to show your opponent or the person who you're negotiating with that you're willing to take these losses. Him taking those tariffs off of phones and laptops almost is counterintuitive to everything that he's been saying. And the fact that he did it on a Saturday, he didn't tweet it out, he didn't put it on True Social, he's not making a big deal of this. What's his next plan going to be for the rest of the week? I don't know, man. This worries me in this entire battle. I wanted to bring it to you guys. Like I said, I put it as first lead story. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about Trump backing down? And this is a back down. I don't care if you're on Trump's side or not. This is him backing down. And if he's going to back down from smartphones and laptops, what's next? Is it cars? Is it steel? And then all of this has just gone away and we did all of this for nothing? I'm worried, y'all. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Our second lead story, surprise, surprise, Kanye West is back in the headlines. Kanye West shares another tweet about Beyoncé. Kanye says, if I had 10 more minutes that one time in the studio with Beyoncé, and he put the eye-opening emojis. Now, as I told you guys 2 weeks ago when Kanye West made those comments about Beyonce and Jay-Z's kids. We had heard rumors of, things going down behind the scenes, and Kanye West ran off to Japan. I don't know what is in Japan that makes him feel like he is so secured. I don't know, like Jay-Z and, Beyonce have worldwide connections. He could get touched anywhere. However, I digress. He came out with a tweet and apologized, but kind of didn't really apologize. And now he's coming out with this again. People are talking about it, and there's the same old conversation. Does he need help? Does he not need help? One of his former employees also came out with this and said, Kanye is on some fake it till you make it, push in 50. Kanye's not a billionaire. He's actually broke. Sue me. Oh, wait, I'm about to be raptured. I should sue you for owing me $9,000. Your producers leak your music because you don't pay them either. Turn to Christ while you can. Kanye's former employee, Chad Spencer, says Ye is broke and faking being a millionaire. He posted receipts of Ye owing him receipts totaling up $9,000. All right, so why are we talking about all of this? We're talking about this because a lot of people behind the scenes are saying that Kanye West now needs an intervention. He is running out of money, and Kim Kardashian is looking to take sole custody of the kids. Bianca has officially left him. They're filing for divorce, and Kanye West has reached the end of his ropes. Nobody wants to do interviews with him. Academic says that they were planning to do a part 2 of their interview, and he doesn't want to do it either. This could be the ending of the Kanye, the new Kanye that we all know. When you run out of money, you run out of access, you run out of the abilities to do and pull off the things that he was able to do prior. All the time in the comment section, there's I think he's okay. I think that he's just making it up. You know where I stand, but the conversation is that people are really looking to have an intervention with Kanye and get him help, and they think that this might be the last straw. I don't know what you guys think about all of this. I just wanted to bring it to you. Y'all let me know what you think. I still think that he's all right, but if he's ran out of money, then he's ran out of access, and maybe he does need help. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our third lead story. She tried it. Judge reportedly tells Wendy Williams that her career is over. It's done. Things got real last week in the Wendy Williams ongoing fight to reclaim her freedom. And from what sources are saying, the courtroom energy was out of pocket. According to insiders, the judge had a lot to say, and not in a good way. She reportedly came for Wendy's niece, Alex, accusing her of leaking information to the media and threatening her with sanctions if anything happens again. Then the judge allegedly turned her attention to Wendy's family, throwing shade and basically saying they are not good people. But the most jaw-dropping moment came when the judge reportedly told Wendy her career is over. She said straight up, it's done. Now, hold up. Who gave this judge the right to speak on Wendy and her legacy like that? This is the woman who changed daytime TV and built an empire. Fans are still rooting for her, and the numbers are proving it. Her to-be documentary, Where is Wendy?, pulled in major numbers, and people are still locked in on her ongoing fight to end her guardianship. Sources say the judge's comments cut deep, but Wendy is far from giving up. She just brought in legal heavyweight Joe Tacopina, who is ready to take this battle to a jury if the judge doesn't do the right thing. All right, so we told you guys that a little bit last week, that Joe Tacopina is now involved in the Wendy case. For those of you who don't know who Joe is, he was Donald Trump's ex-lawyer, Alex Rodriguez, recently just got ASAP Rocky out of jail, and potentially he might be on the Diddy case, all right? We have something about Diddy in quick news. Diddy is trying to hire every single lawyer. Anyways, I think this is a good thing. I don't obviously like how the judge was talking to Wendy. Her career is far from done. I've heard that when Wendy's out of her guardianship, she's actually going to do a once a week podcast. That's the next thing that she's going to do. Y'all know Charlemagne has a podcast network. So anyways, the reason why I like that the judge did this is grounds for the judge to be replaced. Remember in the Young Thug trial, the judge said something similar about Thug, and his lawyer was able to get the judge off the case, and they got to their third lawyer, and that's arguably maybe what got Young Thug off his trial. So if Joe or whoever Wendy's lawyer is can use this as evidence of whether it be misconduct or prejudice or just, a judge is supposed to be there to be impartial, right? A judge is supposed to be there to hear both sides and either instruct the jury what to do or make a ruling. They're not there to judge somebody if their career is over or not. Like, what are you talking about? So that's what I think Joe is going to try to do. And it will be great if we have a new judge and hopefully we have a trial by jury and 12 people anywhere in the world could see that Wendy is totally fine. So as always, we'll keep you guys up to date on this. Keep hashtagging free Wendy. We need y'all support. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. Our first quick story. I couldn't wait to get to this one. Social media reacts to Netflix Pop the Balloon or Find Love live show. Okay, I have two comments for you guys and I'll let you know what I think. Tuned into Pop the Balloon on Netflix and it was immediately ruined. This was a black show. I see 1.5 black women. The personalities are terrible. One black girl is forcing herself to be ghetto and they got a white girl rapping. The next person says, this show clearly tells me that Netflix doesn't understand this show and its audience because this ain't it. Go back to the drawing board immediately. All right. For those of you who don't know, I'm a big fan. Well, you guys must know. I'm a big fan of Pop the Balloon. Shout out to Arlette. Y'all know I support all YouTubers and content creators. And Netflix took this show, tried to bring it to mainstream. And the one great thing they did was had Arlette and BM, the show's creators, founders and creators, as executive producers. However, it's fully clear that they just gave them a check and didn't listen to anything they were saying because there's no elements of Arlette or BM in this at all. I refuse to believe that they had anything to do. Now, when you create something and sell it to a platform to do something with, right away, they give you executive producer credits, okay? I'm actually doing something right now. I just did, I won't tell you guys the details, but I just did this 6 months ago on something that I did. And automatically, without me having any creative control, the first contract, they were like, we'll automatically give you creative, executive producer credits. Like, you just get that right away. And I was like, okay, but do I get to control anything? And they were like, no. So then I had my lawyers be like, what are you talking about? I created this, et cetera, et cetera. So we have that worked in. And that is just a tactic that these mainstream places or platforms try to do, not because they don't want your input. Obviously, they do want your input, but they want to have the final say. And it's up to you and your lawyers to fight in your contract to say you want to have a certain amount of creative control and then try to have at least the final say so you're able to at least weigh in and give it to them. At the end of the day, they're paying the check, right? So I think that's what Arlette and BM didn't do. And I don't have so much of a problem like that first comment. They said, well, this was a black show and there's only 1.5 black women there. I don't have a problem. Yes, Arlette and BM's version is black. I mean, everybody there is black. The people looking for love are black. Whether it's guy or girl, and the contestant or the person coming in have all been black. I didn't expect Netflix to do that. This is a global platform. I didn't expect it to be a quote unquote black show. I have no problem with it being mixed, white, Chinese, whatever. No problem with that. But what I have a problem with is you have to keep the fundamentals of the show that made it a success, at least to get somewhat of the audience. What Netflix did is literally just take the name and make the entire show completely different. And I think that is why you have so many of the fans of the show not liking it. The premise of the show is people are really coming there to find love. It's not a hookup. It's not dating. It's not, oh, okay, we could get into each other's DM. You could see that Arlette and BM, they are two married people and they're actually really trying to find love. They're trying to match people up and find love. That's the premise of the show. Now, during the show, there are some funny moments. There's some awkward moments like, hey, how come you're not interested in this person? Somebody might say, well, her teeth or her hygiene, or she had, this guy has chipped teeth. And they might say something funny, but for the most time, it's more respectable. They say, they're just not my type, or I didn't find an immediate attraction. So it's not a shtick. Netflix, people were talking over each other. Everybody was trying to crack a joke. They had reality stars, and 3 or 4 people were talking at the same time. That never happens on the original program. So I just feel like they made a mistake of trying to make the Netflix version more comedy, funny, and reality TV-ish, where the premise was really trying to find love. Now, Netflix maybe could have looked and said, we do not want to try to find love. We want to try to make it reality. But if that was the case, why have it on stage with a microphone and have this same setup? I would have made it more in an apartment, chilling, kind of like a get-together kind of vibe. And then you could do the element of the reality. I just thought it was a total mistake. Regardless of however you want to look at it, just the elements were horrible. Of course, I'm going to tune in this Thursday to see if they've made any changes, but I just thought it was a total 100% fail. I don't think there was anything good. The girls that lined up, or the guys that were looking for love, I just thought it was horrible. The host's name, I think it's Yolanda. Sorry, how I am with names. Anyway, her last name is Orgy. Yvonne Orgy. So I love Yvonne. She's from Insecure. Love her, but I just think that she did a bad job. I just got to be honest. Like, a host is supposed to control the set, and it was just no control, just nothing. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about it. Let me know if you think it's going to continue. My prediction is it's either going to create its own fan base with their setup of how they have it, and it just goes on, and we just continue watching the Netflix version, the YouTube version, and they both just coexist and are letting BM get a check, or it's just going to fail and we just go back to watching on YouTube. The great thing about it is YouTube wins, content creator wins, and I love that. Her views are still up. She's still getting more than 1 million views per episode. Love it. For those of you who haven't checked it out, check it out. Trust me, it's such a good show. I watch it every week. And I've never watched a dating show. It's not things I'm into. Y'all know I don't even watch reality TV, but there's just something about it that's just good. I watch it on the weekends most of the time. I don't catch it on Wednesday when it comes out. I'm always working, but it's a good show. Anyways, check it out. Shout out to Arlette and BM. Our second quick story. Donald Trump signs order to make America's showers great again. Donald Trump signed an executive order aiming to roll back federal regulations that limited water flow in household appliances like shower heads. He argues that the previous rule put in place during the Obama and Biden administration resulted in poor water pressure and inconvenienced everyday Americans. The new order seeks to allow higher water flow rates, with Trump claiming it will restore practicality to daily routines like showering. Trump's in the White House while we're all here freaking out about tariffs and stuff. Trump's like, we got to make showers great again. Some of you might be laughing. I actually like this. I cannot stand a shower with low water pressure. I cannot. The shower in my house, in my bedroom, when I tell you the pressure is like nothing you've ever seen. Anybody that's ever showered, I was like, this is the best shower I've ever had in my entire life. I paid a lot of money for my shower head, and it's amazing. It's literally like having a massage. Hence the reason why, remember comment of the day, how long you spend in the shower? Yeah, half an hour, 45 minutes easily. Like, if you get too close, it actually hurts. It's painful. Like, I need a high water pressure. If I go to a hotel or I'm staying at someone's house, the water pressure, I come home right away and take a shower. Anyways, shout out to Trump for this. I like this. And by the way, things like this is what gets Donald Trump his votes, by the way. He does things that that normalizes being a president, and just listen to him in this press conference. I like this. Let me know. Listen to the video.
So with this executive order, we're effectively going to be reversing that set of regulations to ensure that Americans have choice in the consumer market. If they want a low-flow shower head, they can buy one. If they want a real deal shower head, they should have it. That's true.
You wash your hands, and in my case, I like to take a nice shower to take care of my beautiful hair. I have to stand under the shower for 15 minutes till it gets wet. It comes out drip, drip, drip. It's ridiculous.
It makes him relatable, and that's what people like. Sorry, but it's truth. Anyways, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Our third quick story. Vybz Kartel left nothing on stage in triumphant return to NYC, a night of redemption, royalty, and raw emotion at Reggae Fest. Shout out to Vybz. Bah, 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 bah. I should have been there. I was almost there, but couldn't make it. Anyways, Cardi B summed it up best. I've never seen the Barclays Center, this packed, and for good reason. A night that felt more like a homecoming than a concert. Vybz Kartel made his long-awaited return to the Big Apple for night one of Reggae Fest Presents Vybz Kartel, making the first New York stage appearance in over 2 decades. The result, a monumentous performance that blended high-octane energy, emotional truth, and the timeless charisma that defines the king of dancehall. All right, I'm going to read to you something that Vybz and this site put out. It said, Brooklyn has never felt this alive since Jay-Z did the opening of the Barclays concert in 2012. Generations of fans in the U.S. awaited years for this moment. But by the 20th track, his voice began to strain. He apologized, addressing the vocal fatigue like a seasoned performer with nothing to hide and everything to give. Rather than disappointment, the crowd leaned in. They didn't come for perfection. They came for Kartel. Then came the Queen. Spice joined him on stage, and what followed was pure magic. Their chemistry, equal parts playful, flirty, and electric, ignited the crowd all over again. All right, my timeline was full, but it's because I follow a lot of Jamaican stuff. But this concert looked amazing. Friday night and Saturday night, Vybz shut down. If you guys want to hear a good interview from Vybz, he was on The Breakfast Club and also on Angela Yee. I think he also did something with Hot 97, but this was a redemption. This was great for Jamaica dancehall culture. I love to see it. Buju was there, Cardi was there, Safari was there. Everybody was in the house. It was so amazing. Vybz says he is back in the US. He's back for good. And he's probably coming back with a new album soon. Love to hear this. Shout out to J.A. Dancehall and everybody involved. Our fourth quick story. Football player Quaydarius Davis caught on camera allegedly putting hands on his girlfriend after their breakup. Social media is demanding justice after footage allegedly captured the athlete Quaydarius Davis putting his hands on his girlfriend until she lost consciousness following their breakup. Authorities have yet to comment publicly on the incident. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, we're going to play a little clip of the video. We'll put the rest of it on our Formerly Out Loud Instagram page because it is very, very hard to watch. And here is the little clip. My whole thing is, if there is video and we know it's him, why hasn't he been arrested? Like, what's going on? Like, this guy's just disgusting. Put him in jail with Diddy. Our fifth quick story. Keyshia Cole goes in on her recent performance of I Should Have Cheated. All right. Keyshia Cole is not making rounds and not trending for her performance. She's making rounds for her outfit that she wore. And I love Keyshia Cole, so I'm not tolerate any Keyshia Cole hate. But the outfit is definitely not giving. Here is one picture from the front. We already showed you the side. Here is the video of Keyshia, and then I'll let you know her reaction of her potentially having a diaper on stage. Take a look. Okay, she's singing I Should Have Cheated on You, but we had to change the music, obviously, for copyright reasons, but we just wanted to show you some visuals. And like I said, she started trending. And then she came out and here's the headline. Keyshia Cole's response to comments about her Dreamville Fest outfit. It did look a little diaper-ish, but I don't care. Keyshia Cole says that she liked her Dreamville outfit despite comments saying that her bottom resembled a diaper. Here's Keyshia Cole.
Why you had that diaper on, boo? Because it's my mother's business why I got my goddamn diaper on. What you care about it? What it mean to you that I got on a goddamn $1,000 diaper?
And this is why I'm such a Keyshia Cole fan, because she don't care what you say about her, and neither do I. She tried to slide in there like, leave my $1,000 diaper on so it could be like, yeah, it's a designer. Celebrities always try to do that whenever they get dragged about their outfit. They're like, well, whatever, this, $10,000 Dolce Gabbana this or da-da-da. It's like, it doesn't matter. If it doesn't look good, it doesn't look good. But like I said, it's Keyshia Cole, and she can do nothing wrong in my books. And I think it looked good, all right? Diaper or no diaper? Keyshia. Our sixth quick story. All right, Harvey Leving tried to corner Mark to admit that he's representing Diddy on the latest Two Angry Men podcast episode. Mark does everything he can to deflect. Take a listen to this.
You are going to represent Diddy, and I know it. And I've known this for 3 weeks, Mark.
I have represented Sean off and on for 15 years.
I know.
My daughter represents
I know
Sean.
That too.
I know traffic and rumors.
This is not a rumor. I know your client is telling people you're representing him in the trial.
All right, why is this a story, you may be asking? Mark is probably one of the most famous and renowned defense lawyers in American history. The Clintons, Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, he has gotten a lot of people off a lot of things. And when we're talking high profile. Now, the kicker is, and the reason why he's not admitting it, is that Mark's daughter is presently right now Diddy's lead attorney. So he doesn't want to take any shine away from his daughter, because if she wins, he's kind of wanting to, have her set up her own career. So he has been known to working in the back end. And apparently the DA is somebody else's famous prosecutor's child. So it's kind of like the nepotism babies going head to head. So I think both fathers are trying to stay away. Now, in the past week and a half, we've heard Mark getting on the case, and now Joe Tacopina on the case. And if you guys remember, last week, Friday, we had a big episode where we told you that we've been hearing rumors that Diddy is going to be getting out on bail. We told you that Vlad from Vlad TV said it, all right? Nobody sent me letters. Vlad said it, not me, okay? Now, we all know that we're not fans of Diddy. We don't like what we did with Cassie or whatever, but I'm telling you, the people that Diddy is hiring to put on this case, the feds are going to have a very, very hard time, because these guys are renowned. If Mark is involved, things are going to change. That's all I'm saying. Let me know what you all think about this in the comment section below. Our seventh quick story. Donald Trump replaces Barack Obama's portrait in the White House with a picture of him after his unaliving attempt. Donald Trump is doing things against the norm yet again. This time he's replacing former President Barack Obama's portrait for his own picture of him after his unaliving attempt. According to NBC News, by tradition, the portrait hanging in its spot next to the East Room in the foyer after walking into the White House of the most recent president, and that's the official way it is supposed to go. Once a president has his official portrait being painted, it is unveiled, and during the ceremony, it is hung, and it's in a respective order. By the natural order, the next portrait should be Joe Biden. However, when the portrait is painted and unveiled, Donald Trump took it upon himself to break tradition and now replaced it with his infamous unaliving attempted portrait. A lot of people were freaking out online about, wow, where did he put it or whatever. Somebody tweeted out and said, Obama remains in the entrance hall of the White House state floor. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about this. Is it a big deal that it's not in order, progressive order of the next president? like, honestly, if you would have taken it down and put it nowhere in the White House, I would have said, okay, this is something to talk about. But he moved it. Trump is unconventional. He does things. He likes looking at himself. Like, I just think that we have enough things to worry about. Like, that's what Trump does. And again, I keep telling you guys, Trump does this so that his base can get riled up. Oh, the painting, or they get it. Like, he does things on purpose. It's more important to talk about the tariffs and him taking tariffs and backing down from China than him and this Barack Obama painting. He's just trying to deflect his attention away and rile up his base. Don't take the bait, y'all. It's not a big deal. Our 8th quick story. A TikToker claims to have proof that TDE is buying engagements and viewing bots for Luther featuring SZA. Okay, I'm going to play a little clip. This is coming from this content creator, not me. Every time I talk about Kendrick Lamar, somebody in the comment section is like, can you be fair when you talk about Kendrick? Can you talk about Drake too? Unfortunately, Drake has a case against Universal claiming that they used bots. And every time somebody looks into Drake's numbers, there is no bots. There is no streaming numbers that are changing. I told you guys last week that Spotify is wiping and clearing off their bots, and Kendrick dropped down a few places. He has dropped down his views. They're alleging because of bots. And here's another content creator that's saying and giving you guys more details about YouTube. So you know that this podcast is big on YouTube. So a lot of you YouTubers can look into this and see. I didn't even realize this is a good way to catch bots for us just in general. Take a look.
I'm about to prove to y'all right here that Kendrick Lamar uses bots for his views and comments. I want y'all to go to the Luther video on YouTube and go to comments. And then when you go to comments, just look through the comments. And you're going to see a bunch of names that look like this. Now, if you see a name that looks like this, click on the name and look when they joined YouTube. Joined 4 hours ago. I'm sorry, the music video just dropped 5 hours ago. Oh, you don't believe me? Here's another one. Joined 2 hours ago.
Telling you, man, I didn't think about it. I went to Luther, I looked in the comment section, and you click on the people's names, and they're created their account 4 hours ago, a day ago. Like, it doesn't obviously make sense. You go to Drake Nokia, and I haven't found one. I looked at, I think 20 or 30. I didn't find one that wasn't created 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago. I didn't see one that was created in 2025. So I told you guys, Drake has, I think, blown the lid off of something that's going on. Universal is scared. I told you guys last week that they're thinking about settling with Drake because they don't want this to be exposed. We'll see what happens. And again, in the comment section, I'm not on anybody's side. I really could care less. I just telling you guys what's going on and what people say. None of these people pay my bills. I don't care. Our 9th quick story. Fans yell child support at Anthony Edwards. All right, I love to see this. You know that I'm on my Anthony Edwards hating bandwagon because of what he's doing. Not to his baby mama, but what he is doing to his own child, not even fighting to see his own child. And apparently, I'm not the only one that feels this way. Listen to the crowd. Child support, child support, child support. Actually, in actuality, they shouldn't be yelling child support because that's the one thing that he's actually saying in court. I know the laws, tell me how much I got to pay, and I'm done with it. So you shouldn't be actually chanting child support. You should be chanting, see your child, go and see your child. Who cares about the money? Who cares about the money that you could send her or pay for her? Nobody cares about that. Fight for custody of your child and see your child. She is your daughter. Yes, you might not have liked the mom or be involved with the mom, but hey, man, you do the incident, you got to live with the results, bro. It's your daughter. Go and see her. Change the chant, by the way, because he's paying child support and he's not even fighting that. See your child. See your child. Y'all welcome. Our 10th quick story. Bernie Sanders pulled up to Coachella last night. Bernie Sanders made a surprise appearance at Coachella. Bernie Sanders says, we got a president in the United States who, and then before he could finish his sentence, the crowd booed and he said, I agree. Okay, there's a reason why I'm bringing this up and telling you guys, but let me just play the video and then I'll tell you what I want to know after. Just take a listen.
This country faces some very difficult challenges. And the future of what happens to America is dependent upon your generation. Now, we got a president of the United States who... I agree.
Over this past week, Bernie Sanders had a town hall on CNN, which I watched, which was pretty good, actually. And now, over the weekend, he was at Coachella. Before that, he was going around America with AOC, etc. My question is, this maybe should be in social discussion, but is Bernie Sanders going to run for president in 2028? Bernie Sanders will be like 84, I think, or 85. Let me check. Hold on. How old is Bernie Sanders?
Bernie Sanders is 83 years old.
Lord. 83. So that means 83. All right. So he'll be 86 years old. And I just think that alone, people are not going to want to vote for him because 86, that means he'll be 90 at the end of his first term, possibly can run for another term, so he'll be 94. Now, Warren Buffett is 94, and with all the other billionaires in 2025, he's the only one that has made money. So that is to Bernie Sanders' defense. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I said that last week, but we're not going to get into it. Now, I don't necessarily have a problem with his age. I don't. If you're coherent and you're fine, who cares? I've been on record saying I think we're going to outlive the people behind us to 100, 120. So I don't have a problem with age. But I think a lot of people will, and that will be one of the reasons why he doesn't make it. And another thing is that I think that he is too much of a progressive. Not saying that I don't like some of his ideas, because I do. And I'm not saying I don't like him, because I do like him. The thing I really, really like about Bernie, take his politics aside, I like how sharp and I like how determined and focused and no nonsense he is. He reminds me a lot of Trump, to be honest with you. I think they're the exact opposite in their thoughts and their political views, but they're very similar. Not in like Trump and his, and his attitude and his disrespect, because people feel that he's disrespectful, like how he talks. So I'm not saying in that sense, but I'm just saying in the sharp, never wavering, what they believe in, they believe, and that is it. There's no hesitation. There's no, well, maybe I'll think or whatever. And I think that was, a little bit of what hurt Kamala, where she was a little, kind of undecided in her ways. And when you're going out to be the leader of a country, you have to be decisive in your views. Saying all of that, I just think that the way how the Electoral College is set up, that Bernie probably could win the popular vote because progressives in LA, in California and New York, he will win a lot of them over. However, what a lot of people overlook is the popular vote is really just for bragging rights, and how the Electoral College is set up. I think that he is too progressive to be the Democratic candidate. I think if a Democratic is going to win, you need somebody with that sharp wit determination, but you need them to be a little bit more middle. We need like an independent thinking Democrat who can see both sides of the aisle. To me, I think that's the future. And maybe not now in the next 4 years, but in the next 10 or 20 years, that is how I think the political landscape will be, because there's so many people that are involved in politics nowadays. Credit to Trump. He's brought a lot of young people. And to be able to suffice the older, middle, and young, you're going to need somebody that sees things on both sides. That's why I'm independent, because I know that that's where the future is you're going to have to find a way how to govern for everybody. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below. Our 11th quick story. The helicopter ran out of fuel, question mark. Anybody else find it strange that the helicopter just ran out of fuel? Now, this comes from a content creator, and I've been watching this story a little. I'm sure most of you have heard this by now. The helicopter tour that went down with it was husband, wife, and I think 3 kids and the pilot. 6 people were unalived. And I just been waiting because I knew this was going to be coming up. One person said in the comment section, The CEO that is no longer here with us was the head of Siemens Corporation, basically all of the equipment that we use in hospitals. If anybody knows more about what's going on with the American healthcare system and this guy, you wouldn't be surprised. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Y'all know this always happens. Here is a little bit from this content creator. Take a listen.
If your car runs out of fuel, the wheels don't fall off. So explain to me how, if a helicopter runs out of fuel, the rotor falls off. I'm sorry, this just sounds strange. It was a short sightseeing flight on the 6th flight of the day, so if you know you needed fuel, why would you take off? Also, it said as soon as the crash happened, the owner of the helicopter completely scrubbed his social media, literally removed his website and all social media accounts from the internet.
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with 2025, seriously. And I just booked my flight to Atlanta. Like, oh my gosh. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to fly. And I did it anyways, but I don't know. Do y'all think that there's something that's going on? I don't like being the person that every time something happens, there's some sort of, reason or conspiracy of why it happens. But I do find it a little bit weird. Like, these things are just falling off and falling out. Like, it is a little bit weird. I don't know. I'm going to have to take a bus to Atlanta. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Our 12th quick story. Warner Brothers set to revamp the 1992 blockbuster film, The Bodyguard. Warner Brothers is set to release the revamped version of the 1992 romantic flick, The Bodyguard, which starred Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston. Today, it was announced in an interview with Warner Brothers chairman and CEO that the iconic film will be revamped. Although no casting details have been revealed yet, there is a high expectation following the original film that had an impressive box office worldwide of $411 million. The movie also featured the hit song, I Will Always Love. That was a horrible melody. How's I Always Love You Again? And I Will Always Love You. All right, I will not sing. By Whitney Houston, and received 2 Oscar nominations for Best Original Song. Sorry, guys, it's Monday. There'll be no singing, all right? Okay, so a lot of people, most people are upset by this. I'm one of them. Sorry. While I am not opposed to remakes, just simply for the reason, like, who cares? They're going to do it. It's not going to be great, but it just reminds of how great the original movie was. 100%. I don't really mind. However, the fact of it being Whitney Houston and probably her biggest movie, she did Soul Food, she did a couple other things, but it was her biggest movie. And the fact that she's not here, that's why I don't want them to remake it. I just feel like, not that it's going to like do something to her legacy or whatever. I just don't want to see it. Another reason is because of the music that came out of it was so iconic, the soundtrack, you're never going to be able to hit that bar again. If you remake a movie, whatever iconic movie, whether it be Heat, The Godfather, whatever, you're just trying to remake that movie, and that's hard enough. But who are you going to get to sing those songs and have it be so iconic? We have seen so many people try to do that. Like, it's almost going to be impossible to nail that acting and the singing and just the chemistry. I think it should be left alone, personally. Let me know if you guys are excited about it in the comment section below. All right, this brings me to my favorite segment, comments of the day. All right, first one comes from Heather. Heather says, I do not like your show. You sound anti-Trump. See, this is what I love about Donald Trump supporters. If you don't like Donald Trump, anything, they're like nothing. They won't watch your TV show. They won't listen to your music. You're anti-Trump. It's over. You're done. You're done. That's it. They're only watching Fox News, and that's it. Shout out to you, Heather, man. Ride for your boy. Second of all, I am not anti-Trump. You are so wrong. Why can't somebody just have an opinion about Donald Trump without being a Donald Trump hater? I have had Donald Trump's back so much that people in the comment section say, oh man, you are not an independent. You are not Democrat. You are not this. And I'm like, this is the problem with our politics. You cannot just say when somebody does something good or say when something is bad. Crazy. Anyways, but you have your right to not like my show. That's all up to you, Heather. But thank you for commenting and giving me a shot. Next one comes from, oh boy, how do you pronounce this name? Oh, they put their name in there. Dennis. What up, Dennis? Hi, Trent. My name is Dennis, and I'm from Kendrick Lamar's old stomping grounds. You know, LA, Compton, Watts, etc. Compton, Watts, what up? LA, y'all know I used to live there. What up? I love watching you every day. In fact, it brings me a little dose of happiness to hear when you say, let's go. I love the fact that you address every topic with a fair approach and open mind. I also love that you have and share your own opinion and accept others as well. Not many people know how to do that. You're doing a great job. Continue to be your authentic self. Oh, and regarding the trap music topic, I think 2 Chainz should be the 4th added. All right, Dennis, thank you so much for that. And thank you for seeing that I have an opinion and that I just, I'm trying to be fair. Thank you. I purposely put this after Heather. What up, Heather? And also why I put this, Dennis, also because I love LA, but I also put this because 1000% you are right with putting 2 Chainz in there. 1000%. For those of you who don't know, I think this was a question of the day or social discussion. I think it was just in quick news where it was T.I. Who was there? T.I. Oh, I forgot now. It was a trap Mount Rushmore. Yo Gotti was there. T.I. Oh my gosh. Mondays are so bad. I'm already bad with names, but Mondays are worse. Come on, it's at the tip of my tongue. Jeezy, and oh my gosh, Atlanta. This is funny. I'm gonna hear this in the comment section. Gucci. Yeah, there we go. It was T.I., Jeezy, Gucci, and Yo Gotti. And people were like, oh, they're not too sure about Gotti. And I was like, yeah, shout out to Gotti, but he's more producer, record label, or whatever. And I was like, who could be a 4th one? 2 Chainz for sure could be in there, man. Thank you so much, Dennis, for that. Jeez, me and these names. I need a co-host. Next one comes from Joyce. She says, hi, Trent. Thank you for your opinion. We all have the right to have an opinion, so keep speaking your opinion. Let nobody tell you you do not have the right to speak. We need to learn how to accept and respect others' opinion. Love your mom from Chicago. All right, Joyce, thank you for that. She's talking about somebody last week who told me that I should keep my opinion on mothers and having sole custody to myself. And I was like, bruh, how you come in on my show in my comment section telling me I cannot have an opinion while you're giving your opinion? I called them out, and this is what Joyce is saying. However, he did answer, and I have his answer coming up, so stay tuned. I think it's like 2 comments away, all right? Joyce, thank you for that. Ray Lopez says, negative, I disagree with T.I. in that group. I just don't like him. I was in prison with him. He talks all big, but in there he was scared, and he's a Fed. He worked with them to get time off. All right, y'all remember back in the day where people were saying that T.I. is snitching and whatever. He had that commercial where he gave it was like 1-800 call tip. I admit that he shouldn't have done that. But just because he, in exchange for time, part of his community service was to tell the rest of the people that, what he was doing was wrong or whatever. He used his celebrity to turn, people in the streets away. I don't necessarily think that he was working with the feds, although people still say there was stuff after. So I get what you're saying, Ray. But T.I.'s my boy. I went into the archives whenever we talk about people in the industry. Here's a picture with me and T.I. That's my boy. And no T.I., disrespect will be tolerated. And I don't feel like Tip was scared in prison. All right. I know Tip, and Tip is solidified in these streets. All right. I do respect your opinion though. All right, Ray. But T.I. has got to be there on the trap Mount Rushmore. Even if you don't like him, you gotta say that he's up there. Are you kidding me? Come on. Anyways, next one has come from Patrick. Oh, I love this one. Patrick said, came here from Spotify just to comment. You shouted me out the other day on Spotify. I use Spotify because it also has video, and I just download it to go to work. And my name is Pat. The N is my son's name, and the S is my girl's name. So trying to read it doesn't really work. Great show, bro. All right, put this in for a couple of reasons. That's why it's so hard to read some of y'all avatars. Pat, remember Pat's? I was like, Pat Ennis or Pandins or whatever. So thank you for clearing me that it was just Pat. Thank you for downloading and being over on Spotify. And I have to remind everybody, I always talk about YouTube. And yes, Pat, thanks for reminding me that yes, on podcast platforms, it is still available in a video over there. So thank you for the reminder. But I do love that you came over to YouTube and commented. Y'all know I love my out louders over here on YouTube. Anyways, Pat, thank you very much for that. Next one is Billie Jean. Billy said, "Oh my, what a gentleman you are. I applaud you in your response to that ASS who degraded your opinion on siding with the moms. I was flabbergasted that somebody could be so rude. You handled it like a true gentleman that you are. I'm 71 years young and watch you every night from Cozumel, Mexico. Your faithful listener, Billie Jean." Thank you very much, Billie Jean. I love that somebody out in Mexico is watching daily. Anyways, I wanted to put this in here. That was another person who thought I handled it correctly. I was looking out for the response, and I have that response coming up. It's not after this one, but the next one. Next person said, I think their name is Otis. First of all, Diddy and anybody should not be denied their freedom if they have not been convicted of a crime, which he has not. As far as what he did to Cassie, I thought she agreed to a settlement. How many bites at the apple does she get? This billionaire isn't about to flee or forfeit his fortune. All right. First of all, I don't think Diddy's a billionaire anymore, but I agree with you. I don't think that he's going to flee. And just to answer you about, two things. To answer you, one about Cassie. So Cassie cannot press charges because the statute of limitation has ran out. And your question about her getting a bite at the apple, she sued him civilly. He settled. At first he didn't want to, but then he settled. We don't know. It's rumored to be around $30 or $40 million. But her being a victim and testifying against him, it's not really her choice. Anytime the feds come with something, it supersedes any NDA that you sign. So she does have an NDA. She can't talk to me or can't talk to anybody about Diddy. But when it comes to a federal investigation, all of that goes out the window. So I see what you're saying, that it's like, yo, she got her money. She shouldn't be able to talk. But the law states that if it is part of their investigation, you, quote unquote, have to say something. I'm sure they didn't really have to twist their arm that much for her to talk. But yeah, she cannot talk anywhere else. But yes, she could talk in a federal investigation. And the other thing I was going to say is it definitely is a good conversation. Should Diddy get bail or not? Most people don't think he should get bail because of all these civil suits and everything that we've been hearing. But the other side of it is there's people who have been accused of doing far worse and they got bail and only put up like $10 million. Diddy offered to put up $50 million. So I do think it's a good conversation. However, if you've been following me for the past 6 months and I've covered Diddy, everything, Diddy kind of brought it on himself while he was asking for bail, calling and quote unquote badgering Dawn Richards, calling her 30 times, taking the other inmates that are at MDS, their phone minutes, calling people, calling witnesses. And that's part of the reason why the judge says you can't get bail. If I let you out, what are you going to do to these witnesses? Imagine what you're doing and you're already in jail. He should have just calmed himself down, chilled out a little bit, presented himself as a model, what do you call it? A model, not citizen, but a model prisoner, then gotten bail and then do whatever you want after. But anyways, it is a good discussion, regardless of what side you're on. It is a good discussion if Diddy should be out on bail because he hasn't been convicted. I get it. All right. Here is the gentleman, Gerald Baptiste 9015. His reply is Trent. And then he just put 4 laughing emojis. So yes, this was the guy, this was the gentleman that had this big long comment about how I shouldn't have an opinion because I don't have children and I'm always siding with moms in custody battles. And I challenged him on 2 or 3 points. And I said, I'm going to look back in the comment section and look out what you have to say. And all he had to say was Trent. I don't know what that means. I will still look out, but maybe that means that my points were right and maybe you changed your mind. And it's okay. It's all right to just say, you know what, Trent, you made some valid points. and you were right. It's okay. You can man up and say that, bro. Anyways, next comments come from Miss D. Duval said, can a husband and wife not have a separate life? Be for real. And yes, I totally agree. A husband and wife can have a separate lives. This is talking about Barack Obama and Michelle. However, when you're the former president and former first lady, and you don't show up to some big events like Jimmy Carter's service and the inauguration, people are going to think it's part of the, what's expected. But I said it was okay. But when you hear reports of Barack Obama continuously going out to dinner by himself, and when you hear reports of Barack and Jennifer Aniston maybe having a little fling and Michelle not being happy, of course we're going to question it. And I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, you can go back and listen. I didn't say that was wrong of her. All I said was, how could she not expect us to question it? How could she not expect us to be like, hey, there might be something going on? I'm not saying that it means that there is a problem, because they can have separate lives. When you're in the public eye and you publicly are not together, I think Michelle Obama should be able to say, I totally understand how you guys think or why you're thinking this. However, it's not the case. I just felt like she made a mistake not saying that. That's all. Thank you for your comment. Next one is Praise Sister, I think. Hi, Trent. I'm planning to visit Jamaica in May. This is Alicia on YouTube. Praise Sister, love your show as always. Anyways, just happy that you're going out to Jamaica. Tell them Trent Out Loud sent you. All right. I think that's it. All right. Oh, and actually, you know what? Yes, I found one just before I started the show. I wanted to get this. Bubba Chevy said, I just got off the phone with Diddy and he is in very good spirits. And he wanted me to let all of your fans know that he'll be home soon and that we're going to finish my debut album as soon as he gets out of jail. I'm actually his new artist and signed to Bad Boy before he was arrested. And I've never saw him or anybody else at his parties doing anything inappropriate at all. Let's all keep him in our hearts and prayers because he's 100% innocent. All right, when I tell y'all that I know people in Diddy circle, will y'all believe me now? All right, I don't know why Diddy is getting a special message just out to my fans and followers. Diddy is clearly watching the podcast, but I don't know why he wants to tell y'all that. But hey, he wanted to tell y'all that, all right? Shout out to Puff, I guess, if you're in there listening. Anyways, that is it for all the comments. I read all the comments. I love to get them all out to you guys. I wish I could read every single one of them, but just know that I read all of them in my bed before I go to bed. All right. Love y'all, man. Thank you. All right. This brings us to social discussion of the day. All right. This is a very, very good social discussion. Dad storms out of daughter's party over raunchy birthday cake. Was he wrong or is he tripping? All right. Here's a picture of the cake. All right, for those who are not seeing this, it says best ever for like a female's part. Okay, the best ever. Okay, so this is the text message. I wanted to wait till everybody left to ask you why did you get mad and leave? It was a gathering for my birthday, and it hurt my feelings to see you just up and leave. And the dad wrote back and said, China, that ish was highly disrespectful. The cake, I mean, your mother and I were there, and that's the cake your friends decided to pick up. It was very distasteful. You're still my little girl at the end of the day. The daughter wrote back and said, it wasn't that deep. It just feels like you're being dramatic as always. It's obvious you don't like him. It's not about liking someone, China. It's about decent damn respect. You think your father wants to eat a birthday cake that showcases how good his daughter's private parts are? No, hell no. Then the daughter answered, I still don't understand why you're mad. It's just a joke, but okay, I'm 27 years old, not a child. The father wrote back and said, it's about respect, China. Look, we'll talk more about this tomorrow. And she wrote back, there's nothing left to talk about, honestly. All right. Y'all know I always try to see things from both ends. And don't try to tell me that I don't have a daughter and I don't have kids, so I cannot voice this. All right. We've already been through that with in the comment section. My dad is the type of dad that this would not bother him too much. My dad has a daughter, my sister, and he's always been very open with her and her husband and her boyfriends, joking around, like, plan well when you're planning your honeymoon around, the week. Like, he'll say things like that. And my sister doesn't like it. She's like, oh my gosh, da. My sister is not like me. My sister's like reserved, calm, cool, and collective. She would never have a YouTube show. She would never be on camera. She doesn't have social media. So because my dad knows it makes my sister uncomfortable, he does stuff like that. However, I think I agree with this, and I think I agree with the father. I think this is too far. Now, I don't know if my dad, actually think about it. I'm going to actually text my dad and ask him, and if he answers me before this is over, I'll add it in at the end. If not, I'll ask you tomorrow. But I think it is too far. I don't know if he should have left the party, but he could voice and say, guys, this is wrong. At the end of the day, this is my daughter. And for sure, I wouldn't eat the cake either. I mean, this is crazy, bro. You're not going to have the cake that says that on it. So I don't know if he should have left the party, but he definitely has a right to not eat the cake and voice his opinion. I guess I agree with her, because I think what she is most upset about is him leaving, not his feelings, but the fact that he left, I think, is what bothers her. Because if you go back, said, I wanted to wait for you she says, I wanted to ask, why did you get mad and leave? It's a gathering for my birthday. It hurt my feelings to see you just up and leave. That's the thing with words. People will tell you people will always tell you how they feel. You just have to listen to the exact words they're using. It's not, oh, why were you bothered, or why were you whatever? She said, Dad, why did you leave? Be upset. Say something. Say, we're not going to eat that cake. Order Uber Eats another cake in there. But to leave, I don't think you should leave. I don't think it's that far to leave. Voice your opinion. Anyways, y'all let me know what you guys think about this, and I'm going to go text my dad right now. Well, that didn't take long. My dad answered me back with the quickness and said, I would definitely leave and be effing upset. He actually even called me and he's like, where is this? Who did that? I was like, yo, Pops, relax. It's something I found online. He thought it was somebody I knew or somebody that we know or whatever. I was like, just something online, just doing something for the podcast. And he said, yep. And I was like, yo, Dad, you always, joke around, whatever, blah, blah. He goes, yo, there's joking around and then there's disrespect. He said that's disrespectful. He would not talk to the friend and he would definitely leave. I still stand by my first initial thing. I wouldn't leave my daughter's party because that would just be hurting her, but I would definitely have a talk with the friend. My dad said he would never talk to her friend ever again. I'd be upset at the friend. I wouldn't have the cake. But I wouldn't leave. That's just me. I'm not leaving my daughter's birthday party for nobody. Like nothing. Nobody's going to make me leave my daughter's birthday party. I don't care. No, unless she tells me she wants me to leave. That's just me though. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to question of the day. What's legally wrong but morally right? All right, I thought this was a really good question. All right, the first person said, restaurant employees saving food to give to the homeless instead of throwing it all away at the end of the day. That is amazing. I think right away, I'll tell you guys right now, I think this is probably the best answer because I understand why it's not legal, but it's so morally right. I think restaurants should do that. Next person said, R. Kelly's music. That's hilarious. That might be like a runner-up. That's good. Somebody says, crossing an imaginary line to provide a better life for your loved ones. Okay, this is about border crossings. I understand it's what do you call it? An imaginary line, but it is actually a border and it's actually land. So I get what you're trying to say, but it's still on the rights of legalities, man. You got to do it the proper way. Sorry. Somebody said, talking about Jesus in school and in workplaces, it's illegal to spread the word in such places, but morally it's the right thing to do. Really? Is it not legal to talk about Jesus in school and workplaces? I didn't know that. Somebody let me know in the comment section below. Sending your child to a different school district for a better education. Woof. I like that. I understand why they have it. I totally get it, but I see that's a good one too. We have 3 really good ones. This is funny. Driving to work on a suspended license. For real. Like, you're getting to work, feeding your family. Yes, it's not legally right, but it is morally right. I get it. But most of the times when your license is suspended, depending on what its reason, you could get something that allows you to drive into work. And especially if you drive for a living, you can get it done. But also too, then why are you doing things to get your license suspended? Got to think about that. Somebody says, giving my boyfriend's PlayStation a bath after he cheats on you. That's not the word she used, but I mean, technically that's not even illegal, but I get what you're saying. It's morally right. Buying insulin or medication that's not prescribed, but it's needed off the streets because insurance doesn't cover the cost. Okay. I don't know who would buy insulin off the streets, but maybe that's a thing. Sorry. Pretty good answer. I don't think y'all know what legally or morally means. That's funny. Somebody said releasing Luigi for Trump. That should be illegal, but it's morally right. Yo, people are hilarious, man. Why are people such fans of Luigi? I think that is so bad. Somebody said an eye for an eye. Somebody says speeding, let me go where I need to go. I kind of understand what you're saying. It is illegal at this. It's illegal because this is dangerous, but it's morally right because I need to get somewhere. I get it. I'm a little bit of a speeder, I must say. Somebody says parking tickets. The States thinks they're Suge Knight. Okay. Eating grapes in a grocery store. Facts. Come on, it's just out there. Of course, you got to pick and eat it. But I'm a germaphobe, so I can't eat grapes without washing them. Somebody says that Bob Marley, but yo, man, Canada, a lot of places in the States is already legal, but I get what you're saying. Somebody said buying food stamps. That's hilarious. It is illegal, but morally right. Fishing where there's no fishing signs. That's a good one. All right, that's the last one. All right, very good question. Very good answers. Let's see if anybody can top that. What is something that is illegal but morally right? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to sports news. All right, the way that we record our show right now, there's so many things that are developing in sports. I have to wait till tomorrow's episode to talk about it. We're going to talk about the Western Conference Finals because it's the last day. Sunday is the last day of the regular season, and there's a lot going on in the West. We're going to talk about that. And the Masters is almost ended or going on as I'm recording this right now. We'll talk about it. Y'all know I'm a big golfer. We'll talk about DeChambeau and Rory, okay? But in spite of that, I still do have a little something. Isiah Thomas is dragging LeBron James, and I want to know what you guys think about it. I just think it's 100%. I 100% totally object to this. If I was a GM or coach, I would never let any of my players walk onto the floor looking like this. I mean, we are a professional NBA league. We're not summer league. We're not at the YMCA. This was LeBron James. He came out on the court with his shirt off. Isiah Thomas lost his mind. Here's a picture of LeBron James. I mean, he looks a little out of shape if you ask me. I would have put a shirt on just for that. Look, this is just an old head being like, oh man, this league. That's like, relax, bro. Like, come on. You don't like it, don't put the cameras on him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's there warming up. He doesn't have a shirt on. Relax. He also went on to say that they think that they should bring suits back. Remember when David Stern was like, you have to wear a suit coming? Like, relax, bro. You know? He does enough good stuff that we could let him slide to practice without his shirt on. Give us a break. Anyways, let me know if you think Isiah is fair in this, and let me know what you think about the Western Conference Finals and the Masters. Woo! I cannot wait to see what's going on. All right, guys. So I was able to get all the sports in. I just went and checked. Congratulations to Rory McIlroy. Finally, the sixth person ever to win all four majors in golf. Shout out to Rory for that. It's just something I wanted to read to you from Skip Bayless. He said, Rory McIlroy is the LeBron James of golf, a supremely talented, gifted, nice guy without the K-word instinct. Bryson DeChambeau is the Jake Paul of golf, who isn't afraid to do it his way and who beat Rory with an amazing clutch long bunker shot at Pinehurst. Indirectly, Skip Bayless, who is always wrong nowadays, was pretty much saying that, Rory was just going to come in here. He's a nice guy. He doesn't have the instinct needed to win. He has won. I don't know how many Grand Slams he has now, 4 or 5 or whatever. More importantly, he finally accomplished the Grand Slam feat. Just like in tennis, there's 4 major championships. Rory now has won at least He has won all of them at least one time. Done. Shout out to Bryson. Bryson fell apart, which was surprising. I thought that he would at least, I didn't think he was going to win, to be honest with you. I was Team Rory, but I thought he would at least make it competitive. I was really, really excited, actually. I thought it would not necessarily go to a playoff, but at least go down to the 15th or 16th or whatever. But Bryson wasn't even in contention. It went to a playoff. Justin Rose actually hit that long putt on the 18th to get himself to 11 under. Rory missed his par putt and lost the shot. He went to 11 under playoff. Anyways, great Masters. Just all around, it's probably all golfers' favorite tournament of the year. It's the first Grand Slam of the year, and it just sets a precedent. So shout out to Rory for that. Also, in other sports news, what I was telling you guys 2 seconds ago, the NBA is finally done. All the games are in the bank. And the West Coast, which was crazy, Thunder, OKC, number 1, Rockets, number 2, Lakers finished 3rd. Hey, I got to give them credit. Round of applause. I didn't think they would do that. JJ Redick came in. I mean, I'm sure the Luka transfer helped them, because when I was saying they weren't doing anything this year, this is at the beginning of the year with AD, so that Luka trade helped. However, still very good, finishing 3rd. Nuggets are 4th. Clippers are 5th. Timberwolves are the 6th. Warriors are 7th. The 8th is the Grizzlies. I cannot believe Steph Curry, the Warriors with Jimmy Buckets. How could you guys finish 7th? They played, who did they just play? Was it Clippers? I think they lost to the Clippers Sunday night. Just, that was horrible. Anyway, so now it's going to be Warriors and Grizzlies in the play-in, and then I think it will be Kings and Mavericks also in the play-in. I think that's how it works. 7 and 8 and then 9 and 8 play. Oh my gosh. Anyways, Warriors are going to get into the playoffs. I want a Warriors and Lakers in the playoffs. That's all I care about. Of course, I'm good if OKC gets in. SGA, not crazy over the Rockets, with the Lakers. Nuggets, I'm okay with. Clippers, yes. Anybody but the Lakers. That's all I care about. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about the comment section below. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. I hope I did my best to either put you to sleep or wake you up in the morning, depending on when you're watching this show. Before I let you guys go, just want to remind you of all the ways to keep up with the Trent Out Loud podcast. If you are a YouTuber and are used to watching the show on YouTube and you can't always have access to the app or internet, have no fear. Like Pat told you, we are available on all podcast platforms, and you can watch video on Spotify too. Totally forgot about that. Thanks a lot, Pat. So just go over to any podcast platform, type in Trent Out Loud, the show pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow or subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new show, and we upload daily, just like on YouTube, just like we do on YouTube. So you can download the show, take us with you. Never have to go without Trent Out Loud podcast. But now, vice versa, like Pat, if you're used to watching or listening to this podcast on podcast platforms, come over here to YouTube. It's a vibe. Out Louders Unite. We're over here. That was like a triangle, what is it? That Jay-Z's Rock Nation? No, I meant Out Louders. So yeah, come on over here. It is a vibe. Just head on over to YouTube, type in Trent Out Loud, the show pop up. A couple of things you're going to need to do, housekeeping rules. 1, hit that subscribe button, gives you membership to the Out Louders. 2, you got to hit that like button. You got to get the algorithming. 3, most important, comment. Please try to comment. This is a global podcast, and when you comment, just lets everybody know that you're commenting and where you're from. Sorry, I forgot that. Comment where you're from. It's Monday. Forgive me, y'all. Comment where you're from. So it'd be great if you answer any of the questions that I ask or weigh in on comments, whether it's good or bad. As you can see, I always read both. But if you're not down for that, that's cool. At least just let us know where you're viewing from. Like I said, it's a global community. I have the analytics in the back. It's just nice to see people who you're talking to and where they're from. Lastly, if you're really enjoying the show, please try to share, because that definitely helps in growing the channel. We appreciate you. For those of you who want to follow me on social platforms, I'm available on all of them, and it's always the same handle, Trent Out Loud. And we also just started a recent blog. We're just testing it out, nothing serious, where the videos that we cannot play here for copyright reasons will play the extended version or the full version or uncensored version on Formally Out Loud on Instagram, FORMALLY Out Loud on Instagram. So you can follow me on both. I'm most active on Trent Out Loud. Thanks once again for sticking with us and watching the show. We'll see you tomorrow for Tuesday. I'm out. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace!